Hello everyone, and welcome to my first ever video. If you're watching, tuning in, thank you so much. It is greatly appreciated. I really want to start moving into making videos more. You know, I was doing the weekly tarot scopes on Twitter, and it never really felt like the right thing that I was doing. And it just got to a point where it was kind of exhausting and wasn't putting my all into it, and it just felt exhausting and just didn't feel like it was something that was sustainable long term. And I just know that there's a way that I can get my readings to you guys better. You know, like there's a better way that I can do it. So I'm testing this out, and hopefully this is the start of a new relationship, a new journey with us together. So how I'm going to be doing this now is I'm going to do weekly readings through the video, and I want them to be general readings for all of the signs. Yeah, general readings for all of the signs, just tapping into the collective energy, because I realized also while doing the separate 12 readings is that a lot of the messages can really overlap. You know, what I say to one of you, I could be saying to all of you, you know? So I feel like with the way that I read, there's no way or no reason to break it down so much. There will be something for everyone here. And with that in mind, you know, there is something for everyone, I hope. But if there's not, then that's perfectly okay. You know, take what resonates. If it doesn't, then don't force it to. There's no reason to, you know? With that being said, let's get on up into this reading. So, Spirit, I'm asking for messages for the collective for the month of May. Messages for the collective for the month of May. And we thank you, Spirit, for these messages. We know that it is a privilege to hear your drags. We are privileged to get read by you. And I'm privileged to put your readings to words. So let's get started. Messages. Ooh. Same. Let's start over. Okay. Messages for the month of May. Start with general messages for the month of May. Okay. One fell on the floor. Okay, so we've got quite the array here before us. Got quite the array here before us. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Oh, okay. Let's just take her on out. Oh, yes, baby. All right, so on the bottom of the deck, we had the Queen of Swords. And it's funny because under that, we have the Nine of Cups. And what else came out but the Nine of Pentacles? So we're going to get into that because I love me a nice number combination. I love it. Now where do we even begin? Where do we even begin, y'all? This is just so interesting. Okay, so right now I'm seeing this energy of someone is shifting their focus in the month of May. Shifting their focus. If the focus was on your outside environment, you're shifting your focus within. I am sensing a very self-directed or someone is, somebody is really just tapping into what is inside rather than focusing on what is happening externally. And I'm seeing this in a number of ways. Firstly, what I'm getting with this Empress in reverse is that you are a person who is of a giving nature, and I could be talking to my divine feminines, but this could just be anyone who sees themselves as the type of person that gives so much to the environment around them. Like, you have so much for yourself and it just overflows into the world around you. But now you're kind of restricting, I don't want to say restricting, but you're just not as present in the world around you. You're really focused in this month on building up a foundation within yourself. Or if you already have built up this foundation in yourself, you're just really focused on nurturing that. I'm sensing a really about oneself. We even have the Chariot here. You're just filling up, or you're just going towards your own goals right now. Like, you're moving forward in a very self-directed pace. And why is this? Why the sudden need to focus on yourself? I see it is because you are releasing, or rather putting your guard up to a situation. You're focusing on yourself for the sake, not for the sake of, but because you're guarded towards the situation. Because we also have the Queen of Swords here. The Queen of Swords is a very different energy from the Empress. The Queen of Swords is almost like the foil to the Empress. Like, what the Queen of Swords has is discernment. She isn't just so quick to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna love up all on you. I'm gonna, let me give you my heart. Let me give you my soul. She's like, hold up. Who are you, first of all? Who are you really, first of all? That is very Queen of Swords energy. She is protecting herself. And so you can be going towards this. Sorry about that. But so, where was I? Yeah, you're very much so in this self-interested, self-oriented type of mindset, which is, hey, that is exactly how it should be, because I'm seeing that you have a lot of reason to be on this type of time. When we have the Justice card in reverse, someone has most likely done you dirty and you have been struggling to let go of that. I'm sensing that it's like you really felt like there was a connection possible between the two of you. So when this situation happened, or when this person started to kind of not be true to what you were expecting from them, you had to walk away, but you didn't want to, because it was like, how could you do this? Like, having the tendency to see the best in other people makes it, or to see a person at their best and understand what their best possible qualities can be, makes it hard to walk away from them when they do something that's against that. You want to look past the part of them that's like, oh, I just fucked you over. And you want to be like, no, but they're this great and wonderful person. But it really came to a head where it was like, no, you saw what was necessary, you saw what you needed to see, but you have just a hard time letting go of that, because again, you feel like there's a deep connection here, or you felt like there was a deep connection here. So it kind of is just hard to accept that maybe that wasn't true, or just to accept that this person, is flawed. This person is flawed. It's hard for you to accept that, or was hard for you to accept that, because I'm seeing in the month of May, you're kind of like, and I almost see with, first of all, I love so much the imagery on tarot cards, like deck to deck, because I'm kind of just seeing this as like, you are just moving on past this. Like, with all of these cards together, like, you have these girls, these women, they're looking good, feeling free, and just out and about, like, you're moving on past this. But okay, now that we have our bare bones, let's get into the clarifications. So what can we clarify first? I mean, even though I can already see that you're moving on, you're putting up your fucking wall of don't mess with me. This is not the time. And I don't even think that this is just towards a person. I think that you are recognizing that you need to just, like, to an extent, you need to just be like, stop, everybody on full stop. I was doing some shit before, or I was in some shit before, or there have been patterns that have been here before, and we're breaking them down. I'm loving myself. There's been a pattern of self-love, or a lack thereof, that I've needed to, you know, just work on. And I am. So you're really, I think this self-love is coming with a very self-protection. This is, you're in it. So let's talk about this self-love. Why is the Empress here? Why is the Empress here in reverse? Why do we have this lovely Empress here in reverse? I know that's not what I just thought it was. No, I just know that that's not. I just, Oh, lordy, lord. I know. Y'all, it was what I thought it motherfucking was. The Empress clarified by the Empress. She said, and with a few other things as well. So I'm looking at, okay, so the Empress in reverse clarified by the Empress. Like I said, you are this Empress. You breathe, like, your excellence, your beauty, your grace, your nurturing energy, what you bring, what you have in yourself brings so much into the world around you. You literally, bitch, you are magnetic as fuck. And we also have the Queen of Cups here. So the Queen of Cups, you know, the Queen of Cups is, she's emotionally open. Like, her emotions are once again expressed in her world. Notice how her cup is so different from everybody else's cup, because her emotions, literally, she shapes them, like, or rather they come out of her in a material way. Does that make sense? Like, she deadass is just, you know, so emotionally, like, open that it's like it impacts her environment. So when I see the Queen of Cups, I see someone's emotions that impact their environment. And since the Empress is someone whose emotions impact, or someone who what she has inside impacts what's around her, I'm seeing these two cards as being together. Or this could be you and someone else, but I'm seeing this, I'm not seeing this as that. I'm seeing this as these being who you are deep down inside. And then I'm seeing that you have experienced some pain. You have been hurt, heartbreak. And this is exactly what we were talking about with that Eight of Cups, Justice in reverse, and Hierophant. You were in a situation that you were probably giving so much to, because that's just what you do. That's just how you are. And you got hurt. And this Magician in reverse can mean a number of things. It could be that you were being strung along, that somebody was trying, like, you probably, like, were trying with a person who wasn't really putting forth the same amount of effort as you were. Like, it looked like they were putting in the same amount of effort, but they weren't actually doing the same, or they weren't meeting you where you were at. They just were not capable of meeting you where you're at. But I also see this in another way, where it's this heartbreak, in regards to this heartbreak, and in regards to this Empress energy, you have been, like, the situation's come to an end. I'm seeing that this situation is something that right now you are going in a separate, or you currently are moving in the opposite direction of this other person. But with the Emperor, with the Magician in reverse, I'm seeing that you likely have been trying in the past, or are still trying to get yourself back towards that person in any way that you can, which isn't necessarily, giving, or it's not going well. You're not doing a good job. Or it's not going the way that you want it to go, or probably at the pace that you want it to go. So you're finding it hard. You're finding it frustrating. I'm thinking you're getting to the point where you're like, all right, I tried to manifest this and it didn't work. I'm trying to do all of these things and it's not working. I just need to focus on myself, which, thank God, I'm glad that you've realized that. I'm glad that you're moving on. If you haven't yet, listen. There's no reason to be sitting and waiting. Just go live your life. That's what you can do. In waiting, you're doing nothing. And, I get it. Trust me. This is the collective that I'm talking to, and I'm part of the collective. There's just no sense in waiting right now, especially with everything that that exists within yourself. It's time for you to go, and it's time for you to cultivate that, because right now, trying to communicate with that other person, it's just not, it's not gonna happen. Or it's not gonna happen if you keep staring in the direction that they walked away in, or in the direction, or back behind from the direction that you walked away in, waiting to see them again. It's just not gonna happen. You need to about face and start trekking. Speaking of trekking, let's clarify this chariot next. So, clarify this chariot for us. Let's get a clarification on this chariot. Ooh. Why are the cards looking like this today? Oh my god, they literally... I've never seen them do this. That's my first video, so I guess... Ooh, yo, it just... I love it when the cards be coming out again. Okay, so yeah, you're moving on. I'm thinking that this chariot with all of these cards right here. All right. First of all, I think ultimately you were stressing. I think the main reason that you were stressing about moving on from this situation is because there was something that you didn't say, or something that was left unsaid on probably your behalf, or just there's a sense in something feeling, there's just like an outcome. This is why I feel like there's an outcome that you feel like has not been reached or concluded that you don't know about, and I feel like it's because of something that was left unsaid when you and this person decided to part ways, or something left unsaid on their behalf, or maybe you're just thinking of things that you could have gone back and said. What are we thinking about? Oh yeah, the chariot. I think that you have been sitting and waiting for something to come. You've been waiting once again for your justice in the situation. But I think that you're done with this chariot in reverse and with the Knight of Pentacles. This chariot and this Knight of Pentacles in reverse. I think you're done standing there and once again waiting and looking for them, which once again, thank God, because you don't need to be doing that. You are moving. You're ready to get back into motion. Because I see that, like, you just realize that even if there's something that's left unsaid, you yourself are responsible and you yourself are in charge of your own emotional fulfillment. And I think that that's coming in once again with this Queen of Swords. Again, you are guarding this. You are guarding yourself. Anyone that's coming in and trying, you're like, cut it. stay the fuck away from me. Like, you're not. And that's because in the past, you've been still just having this person just on the back of your mind. Like, you're trying to move past towards this person, but okay, I do see that they're still in the back of your mind. Like, while you're trying to go towards new options, they are still there. It's hard because I feel like perhaps when it comes to like you felt like you already had something with this person, so you were waiting for them because it's like, you know, I have this, I know what this is, I'm familiar with this, so I want it back. I don't want to go for anything. I don't want to test the waters for something new. But I feel like you, even though it's hard and you still feel like you're not fully moved on, you are taking the steps in the opposite direction. Before, where you were standing and waiting, you were getting to the point of realizing that this person you don't need closure from this person. This person might not even necessarily bring you the closure that you seek. So I don't even feel like I need to clarify this Queen of Swords, because we got it. You're protecting yourself. And with this Nine of Pentacles, I think that, yeah, we pretty much are in to where we're needing to be. So we're moving on, and that's great. Since I see that we're moving on towards the self, let's talk about yourselves. We're going to get into a little bit about what's coming for you, just for your own personal development and growth this month, collective, because right now, love is always in the motherfucking air. You know, it really truly is, because everybody wants love. So love will always be in the air. But like I said, you're focusing your energy within right now because, you know, you got to be focused on you. And what I think is really important in being focused on you is that you can be... No. Let me reframe the thought. You have to be focused on yourself, because ultimately all of the relationships that you have, and we all know this, that all the relationships that we have are ultimately reflections or reverberations of our relationships with ourselves. Like, if you throw a stone in water and you think of the stone when it hits the water as your relationship with yourself, all of those ripples as it goes out are just how your vibrations impact what's around you, your environment. And I think that you're starting to take more responsibility over that. And this situation could have really been what led you to see that. Because to what extent, when someone hurts you, or when someone does something to you that causes you pain, to what extent, when you want to forgive that person, do you ignore how it made you feel? Do you ignore how you feel for the sake of not being in conflict with this individual, just the desire to come out of conflict? You begin to look at the situation more so from how they would view it rather than yourself. And I think that that is something that a lot of people are beginning to change themselves. It's a karmic cycle that's coming to an end, where you put yourself, or you put your priorities second to maintaining peace with others, or maintaining a semblance of peace, because you're not truly peaceful. On the surface you're peaceful, but underneath you're stressed. And you realize that it's like, why do I always make myself stressed just to, or like make myself stressed for the sense of keeping peace, when the peace is never kept? Eventually it always comes to the head, and it hurts more the longer I wait. So why do I keep doing it? Why do you keep doing it? Why do we keep doing it? The answer is Some of us have found the answers. Some of us are still looking for the answers, but the answers are coming. The answers have come. And the answers come time and time again. If you don't get it this time, the universe is just going to put you right back in another cycle that will lead you to the answer. And if you don't get it that time, then you'll be in another cycle, and so on and so forth. But it's a lesson that's being learned, and some people are learning the lesson. And because they're learning the lesson, they're going to be put on a new cycle, or they're putting themselves into a new cycle that is focused on the self. That's beautiful energy for this season that's coming up, because we really, really, really need to rely on our relationships with ourselves first and foremost right now, because we're not with other people. And yeah, we are seeing other people, but we're not with other people. So we really do need to be relying on our relationships with ourselves. So now let's get into this self-reading. Messages. I think I shuffled up the cards enough and I've talked your ear off enough. Messages for the collective in regards to themselves. Messages for the collective in regards to self-growth, change, thoughts, Ooh. I said I want you to see all of this. Okay. You see, changing is such a hard thing because changing is such a hard thing because when you get so used to being one way, your body literally gets uncomfortable when you try to change. Like right now, I'm literally starting to feel the sense of uncomfortableness in my body, because it's like you're contemplating, yeah, this is a new path that I'm going to take, but can I actually do it? Is this actually for me? And I know, trust me, I know this feeling. Can you do something? Is it for you? Is it meant for you? Is it right for you? Are you capable? And even just down to the simplest things, this doesn't have to be a project. This doesn't have to be an idea. This can just be as simple as taking the steps every day to live your life a little bit differently. You ask yourself, are you actually capable of breaking this pattern? And I'm here to tell you that you are actually capable of breaking this pattern. And this month, it will be difficult. Like with Strength in Reverse, it's like you have the strength, but you get this feeling where it's like when it's time for you to express it, what you have known for so long is to repress yourself for the sake of others. But you are a strong, steady, powerful being, and you are beautiful, and you are, just abundant already. It's hard for you to feel like you can tap into that. I understand that. For so long, when you're told one thing, it's hard to just, now we're just living in this new way of being. It's hard. It's hard to move on from what you've known. When things happen, you're like, oh, this is how it was. And you look back and you're like, this is how it was. And when you get the chance to change, your body wants to jerk you back into how it was. But no, to a certain extent, you have to realize that it's you controlling yourself, or not controlling yourself, but it's you keeping yourself in one way. It's you holding yourself back. You need to break free. All of that stuff, all of that, am I good enough? Am I whatever? All of that stuff was told to you from someone else. It didn't just appear inside of you. It didn't just come from within you. It was put onto you from someone else. You need to, and that has turned into, over time, your own personal narrative. You need to break that narrative, because that is not your narrative for yourself, and you are breaking out of that. Thankfully, something is going to show you, illuminate to you just how much of a bad bitch you are. Perhaps it will show you that all along you were abundant, that you weren't living in your power, but you had the fucking power. You weren't living in your power back then, or maybe you felt like you had lost your power, but it had never left you. It's not gone, and it didn't go anywhere. You just need to let go. Let go of this resistance to it. It's literally okay. And look at this. You literally, I'm sorry, at the top of the deck you have the Six of Wands in reverse. You have Death in reverse. You block your transformation, or you block these new cycles because you're afraid that you're gonna fail. Come on. No. Don't let that failure, that fear of failure, be the thing that stops you, because guess what? So if you don't do it, then you failed anyways, right? Exactly. So don't not do it because you're afraid of failing. Do it. Do whatever it is, whether it's the choice to live your life differently just a little bit every single day, or if it's the choice to start a new business, or if it's the choice to delete their number, block them, never speak to them again, move the fuck on, do your thing. Don't be afraid to do that. You know, this month is about reigniting that passion within yourself. What excites you? What is important for you? Who are you? Who were you? And who are you now? What have we learned? This is about taking what we learned from our external environment, and now we're like, all right, if that didn't serve you, if that's not vibing, what's on your internal environment? And what our environment? What? Okay. So final messages, because I realize that I've been talking y'all heads off for a minute. Final messages. Let's wrap this up. Oh boy, these cards be like, we're just gonna beat the narrative in. And you're just gonna understand that that's what we're gonna do. And hey, what can I say? I am just the conduit. Okay. All right. Final messages. Interesting. We've got some OD number synchronicity right here. We've got the Five of Pentacles with the Five of Cups in reverse. So now come on. We already know what this is looking like. With the Five of Cups in reverse, this is releasing regrets. You're looking at these cups that have fallen over, and you're letting go of all that. You're ready to move on past that in particular. And I think it's this feeling of, it's always like this. You know, that's how I see the Five of Pentacles card. The Five of Pentacles card in this particular context is like this. It's always like this kind of being out in the cold energy, but it's the sense of the perpetual out in the cold. I always end up in this spot. I always end up in this situation. It's always gonna be like this. No. Let go of that shit. Let go of thinking like that, because first of all, no. Like, let's just keep it a buck. It's just, no, it's not always going to be like this. Now, if you keep thinking that it's always going to be like this, yes, it will. But if you let go of that thought of, like, just waiting for all the fucking cups to fall over, waiting for shit to hit the fan, and so you can just be like, yep, it's always going to be like this. No. Stop it. Stop it, love. Because it's not. And then we have the Hermit with the the Hermit in reverse with the Nine of Wands. Once again, let go of this resistance, because this resistance will only, once again, if you are afraid of doing something because you don't fit, because you feel like you're going to fail, and then you don't do it, didn't you just fail anyways? And I understand the whole concept of, well, yeah, but that's my choice, that's my decision, like it didn't come from somebody else, but hey now, it still hurts just the same. It still hurts just the same. In fact, it may hurt even more knowing, Like, are you really comfortable knowing that you're the one holding yourself back? Like, it's different when someone else is hurting you, but it's not the same when you're the one holding yourself back. That, I feel like that hurts a lot more when it's you holding you back, because you're with you all the time. Other people don't, you know? And other people truly, even if they do tell you that you're bad, even if they do cast this sense of doubt and failure on you, you don't have to listen to them. You don't. And it's hard not to, but you don't have to. Because what they're saying, ultimately, they don't live with you all the time. They're not with you 24/7. You are. So at the end of the day, what you have to say, you are the ultimate decider of what is real and what is not real about yourself. And you can continue, like, you don't have to sit here and, you know, be in this sort of darkness, you know. And I feel like you just need to, you're just afraid to step into some energy. And then we have here the Emperor in reverse. So earlier we were the Empress, and now we have the Emperor in reverse. So I can see this as a number of things, but I'm mostly seeing this as you're walking out of these regrets about this Emperor. Because this Emperor, what the fuck was he up to? What the fuck was he? He wasn't an emperor, or he wasn't really being true or fulfilling to what he needed to be. And you're walking out of that. You're over trying to get somebody else to shift gears and, like, get somebody else to be on the same page as you, because this person was not on the same page as you. So you're done looking back and saying, well, you're done sitting here and being like, it's always going to be like this. Nah, fuck it. And you know what? Maybe this can also be, this Hermit, is that you can be on guard. You would rather be alone than be with this Emperor. You're very on guard against this person. So I'm seeing that as, you know, stay on guard, man, because, you know, what else could there be? Let's get something. I know I said some messages, but let's do one more card. Just something to keep in mind. Something for the collective to keep in mind. Okay, something. I said one more card, but something for the collective to keep in mind. I feel like you got another read left in your spirit. Oh, wow. Yo, sometimes I get a thought and a card will flip over upside down. I'll come over and I'll be like, that is literally the thought that I had. Isn't that wild? So, Three of Wands in reverse. This card is about waiting. The Three of Wands is a card to me about waiting, but in this particular context, the way that I'm seeing this card is that there is, right now in the time that we're in, there is this, if you're standing still right now, you need not be. You need to start moving. You need to stop waiting. You need to stop, or you're waiting on the wrong thing. If you're still waiting, if you're still looking back, you are doing it in vain. You are not paying attention to what you need to be paying attention to. You need to be paying attention to yourself. If you're waiting for this little Page of Wands to come give you his little childish ass wand, you will be waiting in vain. Why will you be waiting in vain? Because you need to be focused on yourself right now. If you're not focused on yourself, you're not focused on what's going to be cultivated in yourself, you keep focusing on a missed opportunity from the past, you are going to manifest a missed opportunity in your goddamn future, ma'am. And you don't need to do that. You are going to get yourself fucked up. This is having yourself fucked up. This is feeling like a wish did not come true. Come on. You are not, this is not, this, what your fulfillment is not in this person, and you already know that. Stop looking back to see if suddenly, that's like if you go to the fridge, if you're trying to go to the refrigerator and you're hungry You open the fridge and there's nothing in it, and then you go and you sit down, and then 15 minutes later you come back to the fridge and there's still nothing in it. Nothing's in the fridge. Go somewhere else to get something to eat. Okay? Okay? I mean it. Go somewhere. Stop looking in the fridge. Don't open the freezer. I mean, don't look in that entire goddamn appliance. I don't want to see you in it. Go look in the pantry. Look what's on Grubhub, on Uber Eats. Don't open that fridge unless you go to Stop and Shop. Stop and Shop. I'm like, do you guys even know what that is? All right, I'm out of here. Bye, guys.